Hello, Red Brick Productions here with another LEGO video. Today I have a very special look at the Ninjago Legends Battle at Dragons Blade set. The set number is 71871 and it comes with 1,016 pieces, 4 minifigures, 3 builds, and this comes out August 1st, but I got this early in Europe, so I'm super excited to get a chance to review this early before it comes out. So without further ado, let's take a look at the build and then we'll take a look at the figures. Taking a look at the mech first, let's get the elephant out of the room. It does use the pre-bent leg pieces for the mech, which I'm not too big of a fan of because I don't really know what the set is going for. This is a 9+ set, so it is, I guess, made for kids, but it is a part of the Ninjago Legends line, which has previously been targeted for the older Ninjago audience. So they're kind of in this weird position where they want to make it for kids, but they also want to make it a display set for adults. And I think it does a good job of being a display set, but the mechs and the dragons are a little bit smaller and I guess not as detailed as we've seen in the past two Ninjago Legends sets. So I think that's interesting, and I don't know exactly how I feel about it, and I think that LEGO should just either choose to make it for adults or to make it for kids, in my opinion. But I do think that the mech color scheme is really good with the dark blue, the red, and the black. I think that looks great. The chest area is awesome with these like spikes right here. I like that armored piece, and then that can just come down and you have enough space for your minifigure. I actually like how the figure sits in there. Sure, it's like one of those like big body, small head things, but I actually don't mind that at all. I think the figure does look pretty imposing in there. Yeah, there we go. I love the armor pieces up here that gives just these big shoulders, and the arms are at least not using the pre-molded leg pieces. I guess maybe the pre-molded leg pieces can make it easier to display, but also limits the display ability. I love the sword here. This piece is really, really nice, and this is just using a Technic pin right there, so you can put it in either hand. They do have like the little fingers. You get 3 of those, which, you know, those work. You do get these really nice stickered banners, and yes, there are stickers, but I mean, I don't think the sticker sheet was too extreme in this set, and I'll show you that when we get to the leftover pieces and stuff. But the banner looks nice. It is a little flimsy and it is kind of hard to line everything up once you build it, but now it's like pretty good. But I will say you can like knock things over and get things misaligned and stuff, so I try to keep that as nice looking as possible, but those sticker designs are very nice. But yeah, overall the mech looks pretty good. I'm just a little conflicted on the use of these pre-molded leg pieces, but other than that, I don't think the mech is the worst thing in the world. I think it is a lot more detailed than some of the mechs have been, but I do like it still. I want to take a look at the dragon, and I actually really like the design of this dragon. I think the color scheme is really good with the dark green and the sand green, as well as all the tan and the gold accents. Those look really nice. Now I do want to say my biggest complaint that I've had with this are the wings. I don't mind the design of the wings. Sure, it's not the best, but I do think it looks pretty cool, and it's definitely like a very unique style. But they don't tend to stay up. Like, sure, they'll stay up like this, but then over time, they'll just droop and droop and droop. And at some point, you can see they just like don't have much clutch power and they just kind of fall. So it kind of limits your posability with the dragon, which kind of sucks. So I'm not a huge fan of just how they're just like a little too heavy, especially this side. This side for some reason is just so heavy and then it just falls. Like you put it up, and it will just fall. So that's like my biggest complaint with this dragon. The head mold is very nice, and you do have the jaw piece, which looks nice, and how that's built. It's kind of the same how they built the Guardian Dragon, which I don't mind at all. I do wish this had one more neck connection, because this neck just feels like it's built out so far out, and then all it can do is look up or down, you know? And I wish it just had one more neck piece, so that I could go like this and then bend the head so it can look forward while having its neck up. I think that would have been nice. But I do like these little white spikes here. I think the legs are built pretty nice. They don't have like too much articulation, but they are built up, which you know, I appreciate compared to the mech. The feet, the gray does hinder it a lot. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, at least they kept it consistent. But oh man, that whole gray stripe is just not the best. I mean, maybe you can try to make it seem like that's just how the dragon is, but I just really, that's one of my biggest things about it is I don't like that they have that gray there, and I know they need it for the Technic pins, but it would have been so nice to get that recolored in sand green, you know, just something. The underside doesn't look too bad. This is, again, a smaller dragon. I do like how the saddle is built up. That looks really nice. You have a spot for one figure here. I guess you could have another one standing there. And then you have these two really nice printed pieces right here, which are on these flags. They're the same. Or, sorry, I said printed. I meant stickered. These are stickered, unfortunately. But the face print is really nice. And overall, I do like the dragon build a lot in the color scheme. Honestly, the gray sprinkled in there is just, it's not the worst thing, but it just really takes away with the feet. Like, I don't mind the mixel ball joints and stuff like that and on the tail, but yeah, it's just, man, I wish we could just get those recolored. The tail is very nice, again, just like a ton of ball joints here and there that are just so easy to pose. The legs, again, work really well. I just wish there was one more articulation in the neck so you could get some different poses with that. But other than that, the dragon build is pretty solid. Yeah, so my complaints are the wings and the feet, and then no neck joint. But yeah, that's it for the dragon. See, it just fell down. But yeah, now let's take a look at the main build. Is this giant dragon skull with a sword sticking right out of it. And this looks awesome. This was such a fun build. It kind of reminds me of the Jurassic Park like skull, like the skeletons that they've been doing, like the Triceratops or the T-Rex. So this is a really cool build. I like the eye design there. The shaping is really, really nice. It has these little branches coming out of it, which kind of look like horns, but I get that they're like wood that's has grown through the dragon skull, because you do have this really nice tree right here, this really nice dead tree, which, yeah, again, I think that the foliage is really nice. You do build up the base, and you can remove the skull pretty easily, and you can see that this base is just really nice with this barren landscape. Now, there is a little alternate build that you can do, and I'll show that in a little bit with this, but yeah, so you can remove the dragon skull with the sword. And looking at the sword too, this is a really, really nice build. You do have some repeated stickers right here, and then they're on the other side as well. But yeah, this blade build is just so interesting. It is stuck in the dragon, so it's not like a full sword, but this looks really cool. You do have like an action pose piece here, which you can move along the blade in those holes, and then you have a spot right here for a figure to stand, so either the dragon or the mech, as they do have little pieces that are Technic pin receiver pieces. But yeah, this dragon skull, again, I just want to kind of look at this a little bit more. I don't think the gray bothers me too much here, because from most display angles, you're not going to see it. Unless if you were to view it from here, I guess you can see a little bit more in the mouth and stuff, or from the back, you can kind of see it. But really, it hasn't been too distracting from when I see it. I think overall, this side view looks really good. Or if you were to look at it from this side view also looks really good. And so yeah, I do like the sword here as well. This design right here, I want to go back to that because I didn't really talk about this. That looks really cool. They have this cool little curve that fits perfectly there. They didn't need to do that, but they did, so I think that's kind of cool. And then yeah, so this just goes right back on the display pretty easily. There's just like two little, I gotta find it, there we go. And then boom, now you have your display. And then again, these little trees right here are more receiving pins for your dragon or your mech to stand. But that's really it for the build. You have a really, again, nice design here. So yeah, let's take a look at the figures, and then I'll show you some display options, and then of course the alternate display options. And then yeah, first figure I want to take a look at is called Jin. This is like a new Kai in a way. I'm pretty sure he's a fire master. I'm not entirely sure what this character is about, but I do really like the printing. You got some nice little leg printing right there, the little emblem right there. You do have this new little hip attachment, which was used in the One Pieces to hold swords. So you can't unfortunately hold a sword while the two are in the back, but if you were to put one in right there, you could put one in and then have them hold the other, and that looks pretty cool right there. The torso print is very, very nice. And you do have arm printing on both arms, which looks good. I like this little helmet piece. I can't tell if it's a helmet, you know, or a ninja mask. Either or, maybe it's both. But it's got these little spikes out the front, which look pretty cool. And that face print is just so expressive. I like his scar there, super angry there, and then a happier one right there. Now I'm gonna remove this and show you the swords. You can see what his face looks like with the mask on his happy face. And then there's the back torso printing, which isn't much, but it's nice. This next figure is Mira, and I've been seeing a lot of rumors online saying that this is Jay and Nia's kid, which would be super interesting. But that's not confirmed as far as I'm concerned. The legs look really nice, very similar to Jin's. You do have like a little emblem right there on the leg. You don't have the scabbard or the back scabbard piece because I guess it wouldn't really inhibit the hood or the hair piece, but yeah, I guess that's it. The torso looks really, really nice right there. You do have the side little sword piece right there, and then you get a short sword and then a long sword, so that looks really nice. Removing here, you can see her face. She looks angry in this one, and then more happy with that one, and then that's what it looks like there. You can see the back torso printing isn't much, but I do really like this hood hair mask combo. That looks really, really cool, and overall, I just really like this figure. The teal, or I guess the medium azure is really, really nice. And then just with the dark blue there, just looks really good. And again, this is just such a nice little hair mask combo. This is Master Ayuo? I don't know how to say it, but it's Ayuo. This figure is so good. The printing is so clean, and I don't know if this is just because I got it in a European country, so therefore they might have better printing quality and stuff, who knows, compared to the North American market. But look at that white on the legs. It's just the color matching is really good. Overall, the printing is just super solid there. I do like the torso and leg printing there. You have like the little, I forget what Zane's thing is, but maybe he's also a robot. I guess we'll see. It's very interesting. Very little back torso printing, but that's okay. I do like that face and that hair right there. And then you do have an alternate face where he's more content. But yeah, this figure is just super cool to get. And I can't wait to hear the story of these characters. You also get this nice little weapon here with the dark saber blade. What? So yeah, you can make a little dark saber out of this, which could be cool. But yeah, that's it for the figure. I think this one personally is my favorite just because the printing is so clean. He's also, I'm pretty sure, exclusive to this set, so that's really nice. Get an exclusive Oni Warrior figure. This figure looks really cool. No leg printing, but I think that's okay, as most of the time you'll probably display him in the mech, so you don't even see the legs. You got the really nice torso printing right there with all those abs and like tattoos and stuff with that there on the back too. It just continues. You have this really interesting mask piece which just kind of attaches underneath the head, and you can rotate around. The face is just terrifying. Look at that. But again, this mask piece is just so awesome. It is like a little loose, so it kind of wiggles around even if his head is like pushed down all the way. And then you, of course, you get this like mohawk hair, which just makes this figure look so terrifying. This figure doesn't have a weapon though. Kind of a little bit of a down side on this, so that when he's out of the mech, he can't really fight. So yeah, that's a little bit of a downside. I wish they would have given him at least a sword, but this set does include extra swords, so I can't really complain too much. You can use your imagination and just give this guy a weapon, or maybe he steals one from one of the other like ninjas. But yeah, that's awesome. This is a really great play options. You kind of have two. You need 2 pins for each of the little mechs, as they only fit really on 2. So this could be one side, and then up here is the other side. So then you can get poses like this, where it looks like the Oni Warrior is the one attacking while this dragon is the one defending. Again, this is where that wing gets a little annoying, where I had it up and then it just immediately fell. I mean, I pushed it down that time, but as I was posing it, it did start to fall. So this is a pretty cool pose, and then you could also have it where the dragon is over here and then the Oni Warrior is over here, which kind of makes it look more like the dragon is attacking the Oni Warrior and the Oni Warrior is trying to defend himself here. Again, you can get different poses here and move things around to your liking. I do really like the display of this. Like, this just looks so cool. And I actually kind of like that the mech and the dragon are a little bit on the smaller side, because it just makes this dragon skull and the sword look so much bigger. And again, this wing is really bothering me. But yeah, this just, I think it really does add to the set to have the dragon be a little bit smaller, and same with the mech, so that this just looks so much larger, like they're actually on some sort of battlefield, you know, that feels larger to them. And then of course there's plenty of studs all around here for your figures to be posed on. And then of course you have that one little action towel piece. Now there's an extra one of those, so you can add another one if you would like. But yeah, this is a really cool display option, but there is another complete different. The instructions, they suggest you can use this as an alternate display where you remove all the different twigs out of the dragon skull and over here, and you can have that separate, and then you just get this base where you can display, you know, your Oni warrior and your dragon now on the ground right here. And then of course I guess you would have to do it like that, and then the dragon up on the tree or whatever. But this has an alternate display option, which isn't the worst thing. It does make it feel a little bit small because the Oni warrior is taller than the whole base. So this is like, just like, it could be its own separate thing though, if you wanted like an Oni warrior here, and then of course the dragon skull there with the dragon, you know, post up on top of it and stuff. So that's another display option, which I appreciate. I appreciate that they, you know, just have the option for this, even if you don't use it. But I also appreciate that you can take off the dragon skull a lot, because I think it just allows for just a little bit different display options, which, you know, can be used as a little flattened. But this is a really cool box design. Again, they're doing the illustrated cover art treatment. This just looks really nice, and I do really like the pose here on the box. The back of the box, again, doesn't show much else. I guess it just shows that you can swap the two there, and yeah, again, it looks really good. But yeah, that's it for the box. You get two of them. The first one tells you how to build the dragon and the Oni mech. It doesn't tell you much else, and then has a little Lego logo on the back. The other instruction does have a little bit more to it, where again, it shows you can swap between the two different ways to display. And then of course you have how to swap them. Then it has an ad for all the other sets. I do have this one, so I'm going to do a review of that very soon. I'm hoping to get this one as well, as I think it is interesting and has some cool figures. Of course, then it tells you the piece count, and then the win with Lloyd there on the back. Sticker sheet, again, is not too much. It just has some stuff for the dragon banners, the Oni warrior banners, the stuff on the sword, and then this one piece is like a scale on the dragon. So yeah, again, the stickers didn't feel like every Ninjago Legends set. You also get a really nice poster, and this one looks super cool. You got Jin there on top of the dragon with the Oni warrior. You don't have Mira or Master Ayuo, whatever. But yeah, this looks just so cool. Shows some of the battles that you guys can do. The leftover pieces, you don't get too many, but you get a lot of awesome ones. You get a bunch of extra swords here. You get a couple of these like staff pieces that you can use for your figures if you wanted to. You get another like hilt one. You get two because Jin had a different color, but my cat unfortunately chewed it, so I don't have that one anymore. You do get an extra dark saber as well, so if you don't have the dark saber and you have this set, you could make one. But yeah, a pretty good selection of leftovers. So for my final verdict, I actually do really like this set. Now, I am slightly biased because I like the overall look of the set more than all the other Legends sets so far that we've gotten. My only issues are pretty small when it comes to the set. And I think the biggest one has to deal with the mech and the dragon, where the mech, I'm not a huge fan of the use of those legs. I wish they had more articulation, as it's a little bit hard to pose when you only have that set place. For the dragon, again, it has to deal with a little bit with articulation with the neck, and then just some other issues I have with the wings being just too heavy for themselves, so they fall down so easily. Again, making it hard to pose. And then with the feet, with the coloration. And I do think that a part of all those issues go with the main issue of, is this a play set or is this a display set? And because Ninjago Legends has felt like more adult level sets for those Ninjago fans that have grown up with Ninjago and now are a little bit older, that's what I felt like Ninjago Legends is all about. These like cool Ninjago sets that you get your favorite characters, but in these more like display sets. But they like target it for kids, and so then they kind of make it a little bit kiddish while removing some of the articulation to make the build a little more simple, in my opinion. I could be wrong with that, but I think that's what they should have done, is just stick to one. Is this going to be a display set, or is this going to be a play set? So yeah, that's like my biggest issue with it. The figures, again, look great, and I have no issues with the dragon skull or the sword. All those look incredible. So honestly, yeah, I do really like this set, and I still think it looks great. And when you have it in its displayed form like this is taken from the box cover, it looks great, and it looks really cool on the shelf. So I do really like it. Now, for $100, I will say that is a little steep. If we were to, I guess, kind of part this out, I would give this mech with one figure 15 at max. It should be 10, but we'll be generous and we'll give it 15. We'll give the dragon, I want to say 20, but it would probably be 25 with like 2 figures. So we'll say 25 with that, 15 with that. That's $40. So that means that the head and the sword have to equate to like $60. Which I just don't see that. I'm sorry. Maybe because I feel like how much was the T-Rex skull? Was that like 40 or 50? I feel like it was 40. So if it was 40, we're still down $20, you know? And I think 80 is a much, much better price for this. 80 feels very good, like a good price for this, which is what I got it for. So I'm very happy about that. Hence why I got it, because it was so much cheaper, which was awesome. So this set is just really, really good in my opinion for $80. If you can wait for a discount or find a discount anywhere, I think you should. $100 does feel a little steep, but again, it is like 2026, so I feel like you can kind of try to justify it, but I would say wait for a discount if possible, and hopefully we get one at some point. But yeah, this set is really, really cool, and it's got a lot of cool stuff. So I honestly would have to give this a solid 9 out of 10. It's really good. If they had just fixed those issues and maybe make the cost a little bit lower. Now, if they had fixed those issues and this was a $100 set, maybe I would have been a little more open to it, because it would have included some new recolors and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and please do subscribe, because I have 3 more early set reviews that I have to do. So keep subscribe, and you will see those videos, and hopefully, yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Peace out. Bye.